Did you ever see that offbeat and strange comedy, Sorry to Bother You? If you did, you know how it started off as a fantastic comedy and then transitioned into something genuinely bizarre, and yet still great. Well, the creator and director of that, Boots Riley, he's back, and this time he's got a show on Prime Video called I'm a Virgo. It's another journey into the peculiar, but is it worth it? Having grown up hidden away, passing time on a diet of comic books and TV shows, Cootie, a 13-foot-tall young black man living in Oakland, escapes to experience the beauty and contradictions of the real world. He forms friendships, finds love, navigates awkward situations, and encounters his idol, the real-life superhero named the Hero. Alright, this is a 7-episode first season, with each episode only being about 30 minutes. Let me say, this is one of the strangest shows I've watched in quite a while. Jharrel Jerome plays Cootie, and he is just so awesome in this role. I mean, he nails the naive and timid character while never making him appear stupid or dim-witted. Because of his upbringing, sheltered away from everything other than his parents, Cootie has a unique outlook on the world, and his innocence is shaped and marred by what he sees on TV, and then it's distorted into a pseudo-reality thanks to all the comics that he reads. And that's where this show shines. Cootie is living in a sort of comic book reality. There's a real superhero in his area who fights crime and also stars in his own comic series. And while Cootie definitely stands out in the crowd, he's not gawked at or hounded to the level that you'd expect when encountering a 13-foot-tall young adult. Now, the series, it lives in the fantastical, where everything we watch is real, but it's hyper-realized and somewhat exaggerated. There are traits that some have that lend themselves both to comedy and also story relevance. Like, for example, when one character tells a story, the listener becomes enveloped in the narrative, almost living it out as it's narrated. And this can seem like a gimmick, but it's also a wonderful story device, allowing certain portions to take on more meaning and then get greater exposition without the boredom of just watching a character postulate in a monologue. Now, I know this series isn't going to be for everybody. I mean, it's bizarre, and it's even slow in spots. The story meanders as we watch Cootie struggle with revelations that he learns about the world, and then his desire to make an impact. Now, some of this presentation feels like it's a fever dream, with just random imagery and sound effects, combined with montages and strange edits. But if you can stick with it, there are some wonderful social commentaries at play, one of which is just a searing look at capitalism and its effect on people. And the visuals in this, were mind-bending. You may not want to partake of anything herbal before watching because it really could create some sort of existential crisis. This employs almost a mixed media type of visual approach, where we have live action through 99% of this, but there are also some times when our characters watch or experience an animated TV program. And that then takes on a look of South Park mixed with mid-budget 3D graphics and some hand-drawn animations. It's somewhat creative, but also off-putting, but then also pleasing because of how it fits so well with the aesthetics that have been established for the story. Now, I don't think all this works. Some of the story, it takes way too long to get to its point, taking us on a journey with Cootie that borders on the inane at times. Most of the sequences, they are amusing, but they can get repetitive and feel drawn out. When the storyline is exploring a relationship or other new discoveries for Cootie, these are awkwardly entrancing. Some of it's like watching a slow-speed car crash. You know it's coming, and it's gonna be clumsy, but you also want to see the impending carnage, even if it's just something small. There are also times when it feels like there are gaps in the storytelling, like the script took a small break and then picked up later in the timeline without giving us the details or context of what happened during that break. I mean, I can still understand the gist of the story and follow along with the trajectory, but sometimes those missing areas, they were noticeable. Walton Goggins has a story arc within this, and he is greasy and smarmy and also cringily great. I mean, at no point did I like him, and we're not meant to. I mean, he embodies much of the focus of the social commentaries, and he delivers a performance that deserves that attention. All the episodes are dropping at once on Prime, so you can certainly get a binge going. And if you're kind of entering this in a timid way, I mean, that's fine, but just give it a while to grow on you. There's absurdity that's inherent to the storyline, and it all works to build to the point at the end. I mean, if you tap out early, the show is definitely not going to make any sense, other than being a character study of the naivete and optimism of youth when attempting to bring about change. The story of injustice, it's strong and engaging, but everything is wrapped in this unconventional package, making it less accessible than other more mainstream stories. Now, besides Jharrel Jerome and Walton Goggins, there's a definite standout in the cast. Kara Young plays Jones, and she is sharp-witted and highly intelligent. And instead of any physical weapon to take down adversaries, she uses her words and intellect, spouting wisdom in rapid-fire interactions that are packed with meaning and heart. I love the passion that she gives the character. She's one of the strongest on screen, creating an authoritative presence that commands attention while not coming across as domineering or controlling. Now, because Cootie's 13 feet tall, camera tricks and effects need to be employed to just get everything to the correct scale. And most of the time, this is accomplished really well, with scenes looking real and not manufactured. There are times when the graphics, they get a little bit wonky. I think some of that time, though, they're supposed to be that way, to give this air of cheese to some of the comic aspects of the presentation. I had fun with this, but it was certainly a ride. I mean, at times, I wasn't sure what really was going on or what the point actually was, but I was loving the character of Cootie and how Jharrel Jerome crafts the persona, so I wanted to see where this led. And because of that patience, I was rewarded with a climax that was searing and pointed, and highly enjoyable. But I also know it's not going to resonate or please everybody. So overall, I'm a Virgo is a strange trip of a story filled with fantastical and absurd interactions that all culminate in a scathing social commentary that will speak to much of the current generation. Boots Riley once again delivers a unique view of the world, pulling in the bizarre to accentuate strong characters and ideals while also presenting a poignant message. There's a lot of sex, some nudity, a ton of profanity, and some violence. I give I'm a Virgo 3.5 out of 5 couches. So have you seen anything strange but good lately? Let me know about it in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.